Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered, the podcast where we say the things everyone else whispers, feels, or pretends they're totally fine about. Around here, nothing is too awkward, too messy, or too, oh my god, did she really just say that? Yes, I did. This is your space for real talk, real stories, real emotions, and the kind of honesty that makes you laugh, cry, and heal a little. Sometimes all at once. So grab your drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. Because life's too short to sugarcoat it, and I'm not here to do that anyway. Welcome to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Today's episode is all about real, honest transformation, mentally, physically, and emotionally. I'm joined by Rita Honeycutt, who has recently released her book, Fat to Fit, My Health Journey. Rita's here to share what it really looks like to take your health back, not through perfection or quick fixes, but through lived experience, setbacks, mindset shifts, and self-accountability. If you're someone who's ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like starting over is impossible, this episode is for you. Welcome, Rita.
Hi, thanks so much for having
Hello.
me.
Of course, thank you so much for joining me today. For listeners meeting you for the first time, who is Rita?
There's so many Ritas. My husband jokes like I have so many personalities.
I understand.
So full time, I'm a veteran service officer, and I help veterans navigate the VA to get their deserved and earned benefits. But in my spare time, I decided that I wanted to take back my health after my time in the military. And so since then, it's just been building on this constant journey of fixing my mental and physical and emotional health and overcoming all those different barriers. So I decided to start writing because I always have enjoyed writing. And then in between that, I'm still a mom and a wife, and we full-time homeschool our daughter and all the different things I can possibly do. So that's why my husband says there's like 7 of me.
Totally understandable. And what you do for work is so important. Thank you so much for that. And I speak about that a little bit on past episodes and in future episodes. I have a lot of veterans on here and people that advocate for the vets. And it's unfortunate how this world is right now with that. So it's very important.
Yeah, it's gotten much better, but it is still a challenge, and it's just the navigating is confusing, especially like never to pick on the older generation, but the older
Mm-hmm.
generation being that computer savvy. Even
Mm-hmm.
there's stuff that I'm constantly learning, and the programs are always changing. So I feel like what I do is important because it's just so confusing. Anytime you're dealing
Oh,
with government,
yes.
it's confusing.
Oh, yeah. I know. I've helped my own father with his Social Security and everything's it's hard to do all that stuff. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and that's
Was
that's
there,
why I work
yeah.
out because it
Oh,
burns all
yeah.
that it burns all that stress off.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Working out is such a good thing for your mental state. People just think it's physical, but there's so much it can do for your mental state as well.
Oh yeah, for me it's like 99% mental.
Yeah, I understand that completely. Was there a specific moment or turning point that made you say something has to change?
Oh yeah. So 3 years ago, I had just gotten out of my 4th heart surgery. And then I hurt in the midst of healing from that, I hurt my back and I herniated a
Mm,
disc. And once that slid and it pinched something, I could barely walk. Like I was in so much pain, I couldn't bend over. I was gaining weight because I couldn't do anything. And I met a doctor, and he's mentioned in my book actually, but he the doctor before him said, "I'm sorry, you're going to be in a wheelchair." And I was like, dude, I'm 35.
yeah.
And so Dr. Cohen was like, well, there's this drug that it's used in neuropathy pain. It's still kind of experimental. It's more geared for seizures and migraines. You have those. Let's see if we can just battle all 3. And I said, well, worst comes to worst, I'll end up in that wheelchair. And so I started with a different neuropathy medicine, and my headaches did get better and the pain started to subside, and I started walking, and then I started jogging, and now I'm running marathons. And I'm not saying it's a miracle drug because it works different for everybody, and that's why it's still
Right.
experimental. But being not in pain was a huge life-changing thing. And this doctor just sitting down and listening to me was huge because unfortunately, there's still this thought process with women that when something wrong, oh, it's your hormones. Like, no,
Mhm.
not everything is hormone related.
Mhm.
And so it was great to have this gentleman just sit down and be like, no, there's something else going on. Let's see what we can do. And once he got me mobile, I started, just drinking more water was the little thing. I knew that the big change was not going to happen overnight. So
Mhm.
I just drank a little bit more water, and then I would walk for 15 minutes, and then I would walk for 20, and I started building up. And then I was ready for the next step. And the next step was so dangerous. I was driving down the road, and there's a gym that was like right up the road from my house. And I pulled in, and this little lady comes bouncing over who's just so excited. And so I met Katie, and she was like, "Hey, first class is free. You should come check us out." And I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." I said, "I'm heading home now for dinner, but I'll be back next week." And so I went back the following week, and oh my goodness, um, I had it in my mind because most of the women in the class at that point were older than me, and I was like, "Oh, I
Mhm.
can keep up with these old ladies." Oh my god! I got done with class. I went out to my Jeep. I threw up in the grass, and then called my husband and said, "Please come get me."
Oh,
And he
no.
did. And he brought me home, and he's like, "Are you good?" I was like, "I want to die." And he's like, "So you're gonna go back on Wednesday?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back on Wednesday." And I've been working out with her since then. So,
That's
but
amazing.
it was that's always the hardest part for people is they go and they have a really bad workout experience. And I wouldn't even say it was a bad workout experience. Like I loved it. It was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Mhm, yeah.
um, but being willing to go back, like, that was the
Yeah.
biggest hurdle was, "Okay, I'm mobile now. Now I gotta keep going."
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Oh, yeah, for sure, and you made a really good point with how, having a doctor actually take the time to listen to you and not saying it's just hormones. I've always been plus size, I have PCOS, and I've had, pregnancy losses, multiple, and it took me a very long time to find any doctor that even wanted to give me any test or check on me or anything. They told me it was my weight, never wanted to, look into it further. I found one doctor as soon as I walked in, he took one look at me, "You have PCOS." I'm running the whole panel, test, everything, and it's so nice when you finally find that person that wants to help you and that actually listens to their
oh,
patients.
yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah, it's life changing. And I think it's so hard too because like that was the whole thing is yes, I was heavy before because I
Mhm.
wasn't working out. But when people look at me now, like nobody believes that I'm still like 180 pounds. They're like, but you literally dropped 6 pant sizes. And I'm like, I did. But I
Mhm.
densed up so much from weightlifting. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't understand how solid these legs are.
Yeah, and that's amazing, and that's how it should be, and I am on my own journey, and I've, went back and forth. We always have our moments with that, and,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I know I'll never be 120 pounds. I don't wanna be 120 pounds. I'm
Mm.
not made for that, and like you said, lifting weights is so important too, and that helps regulate so much stuff, so that's overlooked a lot, especially with women. They think they're gonna get bulky, and stuff, so
Well, that's the thing too, is I always tell my husband because he's like, "Oh, your arms are getting big." And I'm like, "I know. I look like I can kick your ass." Like
Yeah, it's empowering. That's
like
awesome.
and that's the thing too, is I'm like, nobody's gonna mess with me on the street if I look like I'm this like bodybuilder.
Absolutely, yes, that's amazing. Yeah, and it's very important too, as you said, like, going back. I know I've had moments like that, but if you don't feel pain, you're not gonna feel any gain, you're not gonna proceed, you gotta work through that pain, and then it will become a habit and become easier and easier for you.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing is like there are days I've had to really learn to like take it back a notch because now that I'm used to going, when I don't go, I'm like, oh, but like this week
Mhm,
I've had like this stomach thing that's been going around to everybody. And I'm like, I can't go
mhm.
to the gym today. I'll go work out in the living room. But I still am trying to at least do yoga, something to keep me mobile
Right.
because I
Yeah.
want to keep that forward momentum. And
Yeah, and that's
yoga's
awesome.
harder than everybody thinks.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
yoga, oh,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah, I
it's
know.
a
That's definitely people definitely overlook that and think it's just something simple, but it takes a lot out of you, and it's very, it takes a lot to do it.
oh
So,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a full body workout and it's a lot more strength and core training than like people even realize. And I'm like,
Mhm.
even chair yoga. I was talking to a friend the
Yeah.
other day about her chair yoga, and she's like, "That's the hardest thing I've ever done."
Yeah, that's funny you said that. I actually followed someone the other day who was posting bed yoga. I'm like, "Oh, that might be a little bit more easier to try out." So, I'm definitely gonna look into that a little bit more, so What did your relationship with food, movement, and your body look like before everything started to happen in your health journey?
Ooh, food and I were too good of friends.
I
So
understand.
I was definitely an emotional eater. It was very easy for me to be like, "Oh, food makes me feel better." And it did when I was putting it in my face. But then afterward, you are what you eat. So when you feel like you fill your body with junk, you feel like junk. And then it's just this vicious circle. And it was so hard coming to terms with the fact that I had an eating disorder at one point, which I'm still working through. Like it never just goes away, but
Right.
like dealing with the fact that, okay, you need to be aware and you need to be balanced. And so I've worked really hard to like not get rid of those foods because I know if I try and like abstain completely, it's just gonna go downhill. But I had to find alternatives. And like my daughter, oh my God, she makes me the best Reese's cups because I don't know what else to call
Ooh.
them. But they're a homemade protein based Reese's cup. So usually you get a Reese's cup and it's covered in chocolate and it's like this much peanut butter. Hers are like this much peanut butter and like this much chocolate. But it's one of the recipes that her and I are working on a cookbook collaboration together. And so it's amazing that like my 16-year-old is like, Mom, eat this thing. And I'm like, so good. And then I just like we were talking about before we got on, like it's hard when you get home from work all day. And so I had to like rethink how am I going to do dinner because it was so easy to like run through the drive through or
Mhm.
something like that. And like crock pot is life now. I put everything in the crock pot first thing in the morning. So it doesn't matter what time we all walk in the door at night, everybody's got dinner ready and it's hot and ready to
Right.
go.
Yeah, that's important. Those quick meals like that, or something you can keep going all day that you don't have to keep coming back to, or even meal prepping. I like to do like the breakfast burritos or little
Yep.
breakfast egg bite things. And oh, yeah. And that's a lot of things. People think healthy, it has to be disgusting. But as you said, there's so many ways to make it taste good
Oh
and
yeah.
actually probably taste better than the thing you're comparing it to, like the Reese cups. There's more peanut butter and yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and that was the thing too, is I did not realize until I started like cutting back on the sugar in my diet. I started eating things and I was like, "Oh my god, this by itself tasted so good." And like I was so used to masking everything that when I
Mhm.
got natural flavors, I was like, "This is the best strawberry ever," because
Yeah.
I just you're so used to everything being covered in and it's gotten to a point now where it's actually cheaper to eat healthier.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know where you are, but here in North Carolina, we have something called sheets.
Okay, yeah.
It's the equivalent of like Wawa up north.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so you can get a chicken Caesar wrap and they're huge and they're like $6 and it lasts me 2 meals.
Nice.
I took the kids on the way to class one night for McDonald's and I was like, "How much did I just spend on this crappy food that didn't even
Yeah.
fill them up?" So it's actually gotten cheaper for us to eat better, which
Mhm.
blows my mind because it used to be it was the opposite for so long.
Mhm. Yeah, completely understand. I have some sheets by me. Wawa is one of my favorite places in the whole world. I'm in Ohio. We don't I think they just opened our first Wawa like this month. But it's like a 2 or 3 hour drive for me, but my family's from Jersey, so I'm so used to the Wawa. So
Yeah. So I'm originally from New Jersey, so I'm used
Oh,
to
awesome.
Wawa. So when I
Yeah.
moved to North Carolina, somebody was giving us directions one time and they said, when you get to the sheets, turn right. And I'll never forget, like, when my mom said it, I kind of was like, what did she just ask this lady? But she
Right.
said, will they still be hanging up? And I'm like,
That's funny.
I don't think she meant bed sheets.
That's hilarious. Oh, yeah, that's great. I love that. Yeah,
Well,
definitely. Yeah.
we didn't have them up north, so I was kind of like, what is this? What is this thing? What is this
Mhm.
gas station restaurant?
Yeah, I know, and the buck bees or whatever, I know that's a really
Yes.
big thing, and we don't have any around here either, so
Yeah, I only know of one so far in North Carolina, but I'm sure more are coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes, definitely. It's like a movement with the big convenience stores like that. What was harder, the physical changes or the mental, emotional ones?
Definitely the mental emotional ones. Like the physical, like it started just falling into place. But it was mentally keeping myself there. So like everybody talks about being motivated, and I'm like, no, I am not motivated at all. Like in the beginning, I was motivated a little bit because I'm like, oh, I want to look nice for my husband, and I want to look nice when we go on this cruise, and that so quickly went out the door because I was like, well, I can just put on another layer. I can just wear a baggy t-shirt. It was whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, it was learning the discipline. Like now,
Hmm.
even when my alarm clock doesn't go off at 4:30, I'm awake and I'm like, I don't have to be up yet, but I just know I need to get moving and doing. And it's it was working through that hurdle though of understanding
Hmm.
motivation and discipline are two very different things. And then
Yes.
learning like my husband, bless his heart, this entire journey, he's only asked one thing of me. He's like, you can lose all the weight you want, you can gain all the weight you want. He's like, just please don't lose your butt. And I was like, I got you.
Right.
So I mean, him being supportive and just being like, it doesn't matter, it is what it is, has
Hmm.
really been helpful because for me it was I need to do this thing for everybody else. And now I'm like, no, this is about me and my journey. But it took me a while to get there.
Yeah, yeah, that's so important, and that is it does take a lot to get to that point. Like you said, a lot of us go into it, like you said, as an event or for their significant other, or to be like a good role model, or which is a good, a good reason, but you need to want it for yourself. So that's so important. Like I said, I haven't been on my health journey as much as I should, and I'm kind of doing it behind the scenes. I didn't put any resolutions out there this year. I'm trying to just keep it more private, and I'm actually down 11 pounds this month already. So I've been really doing it.
That's
I'm getting
awesome.
back on track. And I really was into the infinity hoop for a year or so. And that really honestly helped a lot. And people don't realize there's fun things you can do. And as you said, you
Oh
went
yeah.
to that class and the older women, you thought, no, I went to some Zumbas and I thought the same thing. And like, oh, they kicked my butt.
Yeah.
I was exhausted afterwards. So,
Well, the thing is, I remember when the Zumba, I feel so old. I remember when the Zumba craze started, right? But I remember being like, that's so stupid. It looks like just like, it looks like line dancing to me. And I was like,
right.
ah. And then I went and did Zumba. And now, honestly, it's my favorite class. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like I get the most workout out of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It works your whole body and it's fun and that's why it doesn't always have to be like, oh, I have to go to the gym today or like you can do fun things and you're still working your body. So
Yeah. And that's the nice thing about Zumba, too. Is I realize how much it works your mind because you're like,
yeah, for sure.
what's the next step? Like, once you learn a routine, you're like, I need to know what's going on next. And it's so funny, too, because I've been doing it so much that, like, if Katie forgets a step, she kind of looks at me and I'm like, this is what's next. Like I've learned
yeah.
her routines. And it was funny because we're in the process of building her new gym and I just threw my playlist on while we were working on stuff. And the one girl that we work out with and does all like the protein baking, she was like, how do you have Katie's playlist? And I was like, because I've been practicing.
That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, that's fun though too to you get it down too and you feel like, okay, I got this. So and then it helps motivate the new people that come to class and everything as well. So
Oh yeah.
were there moments you wanted to quit or felt like you were failing?
Oh yeah, every day this morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
there's I this oh so one of the things I talked about like very passionately in the book is like to heck with the scale. The scale hurt my feelings so much because I'm
Mhm.
like, you swing on that other end of the pendulum with eating, right? And so it was like I'm barely eating, I'm working out. Why am I not losing any weight? And so I had to navigate the new part of the food journey. And then you look
Mhm.
at the scale and you get discouraged. And so I the first thing my husband did was he got me a fit scale.
Okay.
So I love the fit scale because it doesn't just take your weight, it takes your muscle mass, your like it looks at everything. And so
Mm.
knowing where my body fat percentage was at and where it is very different things. So I've only lost like 40 pounds, which is still a
Mhm.
lot. But I went from like I think 49% body fat to like 26% body fat.
That's awesome.
That was what I needed though, but you don't see that on the average scale.
Mhm.
So understanding that part has been crucial. And
Yes.
then like, how do your clothes fit? Because that was a big thing is like, I went from a size 18 to a 10.
Yeah.
The only reason I feel like I will never get smaller than that is my husband's fault because of this butt. um,
Yeah.
but just dropping that many pant sizes was huge, but I had to find a different indicator because there were so many days where I'm like, this isn't working. What am I going to do? Why am I not losing? And that was the hardest part. And then like this week has been it's been an emotional week. We've had a lot of different things going on with the family, and now we're prepping for snowmageddon apparently because
Oh,
in
yeah.
North Carolina, like I don't the forecast is currently calling anywhere between 1 inch and 12 inches. So I'm like, do I have enough of hot water for the chickens? And like,
Oh,
is,
no.
is the gas set up in case we lose power? So like this morning, I'm like, oh my God, I can't take anymore. And like, I don't want to go work out. And then I'm like, okay, well, I got to go work out. But so every day I'm like, why am I doing this? But
Mhm.
then I remember I'm doing it for me and I have to because if I don't do these things, I'm not going to be here for the people I love.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, everyone's going to have those moments. And like you said, different factors, life in general is going to play a big role in it. And you kind of have to just push yourself and maybe put yourself first, maybe be a little selfish about your health journey too. I know that may sound weird to some people, but you kind of have to just put yourself first with that. So,
Oh
and I
yeah.
completely understand. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It no, like, that was the one thing I had to learn is, like, I am a very if you, like, look at the assessment, I'm a very helper personality, like, I want to
Hmm.
fix everyone, and so I had to really learn to be selfish and be like, "No, I'm getting my hour in the gym, that is my time."
Yes.
And just doing that has it's changed the whole family because they know my coworkers and my husband will be like, "Did you work out today?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Yeah, we can tell."
Yeah, you need it. It's just who you are anymore. It helps you have your mood, makes you in a good mood and they can tell the difference. So
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
self-care is crucial.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was just gonna say my husband would agree on the butt too. So yeah, gotta keep the curves a little bit. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
what is one thing most people understand about weight loss or health journey?
They do understand, or I wish they would
Or
understand.
misunderstand, I
This
apologize. Yeah.
I was like, there's so many ways I could take this. So that was the thing is the whole when I initially wrote the title, it was Fat to Fit My Weight Loss Journey. And I
Hmm.
said, but it's not a weight loss journey anymore. It's a health journey. Because for me, it was no longer like I lost some weight and that was great. And I know honestly, I'm probably not really going to lose a lot more because I've been working on the lifting.
Hmm.
But I wish that people realize it's really not about the weight. Like, there's a girl that I met and oh my God, like I'm like, I want to be like you when I grow up. And she's younger than me, but she is a beast. I swear there's not an ounce of fat on this girl's body, but she weighs more than I do because she's
Hmm.
so dense and not in a bad way. Like she's a beautiful girl, but like, oh my God, like she's just that girl can never get injured because her muscles will protect everything. Like and
Right.
so it was understanding that it's not necessarily about the weight loss, it's about how you physically and mentally feel and navigating those two. Like, and the
Hmm.
thing is there are people that I run with that are heavier than me and they are outrunning me. And I'm like, man, you do you, girl, because like, I don't know if I could run. I don't know if I could run the way I do now, weighing what I did before. So like
Right.
it's the number they say the age is just a number, the scale is just a number. Like
Absolutely.
it's not as and that's the thing too is I had to come to terms with the BMI chart. I'm like, "Oh, that's just wrong." Like
Hmm.
cuz according to that chart, like I'm severely obese and I'm like, I'm a little husky, but I don't feel like I'm severely obese.
Yeah, no.
So it's understanding that like a lot of that information that's out there is really not accurate and it's not accurate for you. Like
Yes.
that was the hard part. That might
Yeah.
work for this person who's 6 foot tall, but it's not going to work for 5'1" me.
Yeah. No, not at all. That's very important, and I think a lot of people miss that. Is like, you have to do what works for your body. Not everyone's the same, and like you said, a lot of those are outdated, and, a lot of that information is just not cohesive with how things are nowadays. And I myself have, that's one thing that's helped me in my journey is I have labeled it a health journey as well, not a weight loss. It's a health journey. Just want to feel better about yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. You want to be healthier, maybe get off certain medications or things like that. It's just about being the best you so you can live a longer, healthier life. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was the thing too, is when the threat of diabetes came knocking at my door, I was like, what must I do? Because I did not want to be on any kind of diabetic medication.
hmm
Um, I I was, and I know it's not necessarily the case because I see it with people I know that are diabetic, but I was so afraid that if I had to depend on like insulin, how much was that going to impact my ability to go do things? Like,
hmm
I don't want to be I don't want to be stopped at the airport or something when I'm trying to get on a cruise ship because I have to have all this stuff. So
Right.
for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, well, I'm not going to eat that anymore because I want to go see the world. And so it was needle cruise. Mm.
Yeah, that's amazing, and that kind of plays back to that motivation. It's nice to have things to look forward to. Don't make it your whole mission just because you wanted to go on that cruise. But it is nice to have that incentive, and there are things that can help you along the way with that.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. Is like the next cruise that we're going on because I've learned that's the if you have a family, like that's how you need to vacation because you can just like drop off your children. Um, but like the next cruise we're going on, so we're going in June, but we're going to Europe, so it's going to be cold. So
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. That's funny. I was just watching a cruise video with my husband on YouTube a little bit ago before we joined. Somebody was just showing live inside a cruise, so we were both talking about, oh, I would love to do that. So,
oh yeah, totally worth it.
oh yeah,
Your hotel
definitely.
and your food come with you.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. You can just go and chill. You go to your room if you want to. You don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to worry about any of that. So,
Well, and the nice thing too is like with that, there's so many healthy food options too. And
yeah,
there's a gym on the boat.
yeah, yeah. We
my
saw
husband
that in the video.
my husband was so mad. He's like, "What deck are we on?" And I told him the deck, and I said, "Deck number 6, the one with the running track." And he was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "I didn't do that on purpose."
That's funny. You're like, I didn't do it on purpose, but I am going to use
Yeah, oh yeah.
it. That's awesome, though. But that's cool, though. You can go on vacation and still want to work out, and experiencing it in those different environments is probably really cool. And like, being out on the water, or like in the Caribbean or something. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like too, it kind of gives you a different challenge depending on where you are. So like being up in Alaska, I felt like that was the best I had ever run because the
mhm.
air up there is so clean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I could just imagine how good it smells. I'm one of those. I love to walk in the cool, nice, breezy days and feel the fresh air. I just think it's very relaxing and rejuvenating. So,
Oh yeah. And well, the thing is too, like Alaska, people don't realize this. I'm like, it's a rainforest. So like the
yeah.
air is just so pure. It's
Oh,
crazy because running here and being like I'm an asthmatic on top of everything else. Um, running there, I never used my inhaler once.
that's
And
awesome.
I'm like, I'm just gonna move here.
You're right. I love Alaska myself. So, I don't know if I want to live there all year round. I think it was -62 in some parts the other day. And so.
It gets a little cold.
Yeah, I say we were -11 here yesterday, and we have that big storm coming here this weekend too, so we shall
Oh,
see.
we're gonna be single digits this weekend, and I'll be running around in a hoodie because originally being
Yeah.
from up north, I still don't do the whole coat thing. But
Right.
my husband's already like, "Where's the box with all the winter coats?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Not winter coat season yet, buddy."
Right. Yeah, absolutely, I completely understand that. What do you hope readers feel or take away after reading your book?
When I wrote it initially, I started writing things down for myself, kind of like a journal of like just kind of keep motivating myself. But the whole point when I wrote the book was to write it like like I'm talking to a friend. Like this is what I
Mhm.
went through, and it's hard because like I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a professional trainer. Like I'm just a person who's been through it. And so I made sure to disclose that in the book. But I'm like, this is what worked for me. And here are some ideas for people. Here's experience that hi kitty cat.
Yeah, she's
Um it was meant to be motivational in the way of like okay, this is what she did. Let me see if I can take these little pieces and what works for me and what doesn't. Because that was one of the things that I really I had to navigate from a different side, was learning with the back issue. There's certain things I can and can't do. Um, and I didn't want anybody to feel left out in the journey. So when I wrote
Mhm.
it, like I said, I wrote it like we're having a conversation. And it's funny because I had one of my oldest friends read the book, and of course she's like, "Did you realize there were spelling mistakes?" I'm like, "I edited that book 3 times. Let me fix them."
Right.
Um, but she said, she's like, "I felt like we were just having a conversation, like you were just talking to me about this." And I'm like, "Well, that's what I wanted, because I've read some workout books where I felt like it was a labor to read them, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't want it to be a bore. I want people to be like, "Oh," like, I wanted it to be a positive experience, almost like this. Like, I wanted them to feel like we
Mhm.
were having this conversation, and so far,
Absolutely.
that's the feedback I have gotten so far.
That's awesome, and yeah, that's what I try to do with this podcast, just be real and honest, have conversation. I think it's so important to come from that angle. Like you said, it could become very hard to get through a book if it's all, like, medical terms and, like, okay. Yeah. Excuse me. That's something you said about just starting for yourself, writing for yourself. That's something on almost every episode that I've done, no matter what it's about. That's how a lot of people start in their journeys and, grief or trying to heal. It's so important. People probably don't even think about it. Just start writing stuff out. It could take you to a whole new level. So,
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, is I've always loved writing, and it's funny because, like, when you're a kid, right, everybody's like, "Well, what do you wanna do when you grow up?" And so it's funny because all of the things I was told, "Oh, you'll never be able to do those things." Like, I remember being really little, like, when NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and
yeah.
Britney Spears came out, and I'm like, "Oh, man, I wanna be a choreographer." And I love them all, but I remember everybody around me being like, "You have no coordination, no balance, that's never gonna happen." And it's funny because now, like, I help Katie create Zumba routines. I'm like,
hmm
"Well, look at me being a choreographer."
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
then, when I got into high school, like, I knew I wanted to join the military. Like, that was a no-brainer, especially living in New Jersey. We
hmm
were like, literally could see the smoke over the water from our
Okay. Yeah.
house. And so it was a no-brainer to join the military, but, like, when I got out, I'm like, "Well, what else am I gonna do?" And so my sort of backup plan was just go into writing. And I had gotten published in, like, things here and there, and I'm like, "I really wanna write my own books one day." And so when I wrote this one, it was actually my 2nd book. My 1st book I wrote with a friend of mine. Her husband is a Navy chaplain,
Mhm.
and we met through the Jeeping world. So we wrote a daily devotional called Jeeping for Jesus.
Nice. I love it.
And so it was the same thing. It was like talking to a friend. We wrote about, like, God says, "Stay in your lane, don't go off into the woods," and then we go off into the
That's
woods.
great.
And so that was the biggest thing, is, like, keeping it very real and very positive,
Mhm.
because there's just so much
Absolutely.
negative in the world. If I could just a little bit of light in somebody's life, like, I'm doing okay that day.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned a little bit ago, you're the healer, the one that everybody comes to, and that's who I am as well. So I completely understand that. So,
Oh,
but we
yeah.
use it in our own ways. You do in your book, and doing this. We find our outlets, I think, eventually let us be that person for other people.
Yeah. I've been trying to make other people helpers lately, and some of them are not getting the hint, and some of them are concerned about the hint. There's this amazing website out there that's, it's called, instead of Google, it's Did You Google It?
Oh
And so
gosh.
I send them the link, and then they'll put in their question, and the first thing it asks was that so hard?" And then it gives them the answer.
That's great. I love it. I'll have to send that to some people and check that out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There was a couple that I'm like, "Why are you asking me accounting questions? That's not what I do."
Oh god, no thank you. What would you say to someone listening who wants to start but feels intimidated or discouraged?
Just go. Just go. Just jump off the deep end, because one of the very first things I learned when I started hitting the gym was that the people I thought were judging me for being there when I was at my heaviest were actually my biggest fans. So there was one day, I will never forget it. It sticks out in my mind. I am in there working out, and I'm like, I'm sitting there going, "What am I doing?" Like, I feel like I'm dying. And um this lady who I had seen for a couple months at this point, came over and was like, "I just want you to know you're absolutely crushing it," and then just walked away. And I was like, "I don't even know who you are, but thank you." Like, there are people cheering you on that you've never met before. And that was something that I absolutely loved about working out. And then especially getting into running. In the runner's world, those are the kindest, humblest people you will ever meet. Um, when I did my ultra a couple weeks ago, my brother like beat it out of the park. He did it in less than 4.5 hours. My brother is just such a natural runner. It's insane. Um, But when we were there, we met this guy, Craig Engel, and he's a professional middle distance runner and like just like super fast. And it was amazing that this guy who's like got a Wikipedia page and he's an Olympian and he's all these things and he's just like, good job. And then kept running. And you're like, hey, this
Yeah, that's amazing.
Olympic athlete just told me I'm doing a good job. And so there's people rooting for you. You just don't realize they're rooting for you. And that's why I always try and like either wave or acknowledge something small to other people because sometimes like that really just motivates them to like bump up their weight or just to show up. Cause that was the biggest thing for me too, is just showing up. And there are days that is all I do. I am not gonna max out my weights. I'm not gonna nothing amazing is gonna happen. But I at
Mhm.
least showed up and I did something that day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so important. And like you said, you don't know who's actually watching your journey and encouraging you. Like you said, that lady who was, been seeing you in the gym and had, wanted to let you know that she saw you and that you've been doing a great job. And it really does help. Um, when I was doing really good, I was, really on it, posting every day. I went on TikTok for a while. I'm not a big TikTok person, but it was helping me stay motivated. I was part of groups and we'd all share, and just to hear all that feedback from people and let them know that you're motivating other people is so helpful as well. It just keeps you going and wanting to keep doing it. So
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think some days that gets me going more than others. I'm like, now I have a book out. Like I have to keep up my body for my fans, right?
that's awesome. I love it. You mentioned your brother. Was he always like super in shape and stuff? Did that ever play a role with your dynamics or?
No, it's funny because like in school, like in high school and stuff, my brother and I, neither one of us really did sports. So it's funny
Hmm.
because I'm in the process of actually writing the next book. And the very first chapter is about me actually giving up on my dream to ever do high school sports.
Mm,
Um, so my brother is an extremely intelligent individual, but he just never that was not his thing. Um, he
hmm.
started running literally in like May. Just started running one
Oh,
day, and
okay.
like I said, now he's doing marathons and ultras, and he's like the fastest person I know. But when I was in middle school, I remember trying out for the track team. So of course, track in middle school is not like you try out; like everybody's on the team, right?
Yeah.
And I remember being so emotionally devastated because people were like, "Oh, well, she's so slow." And I was like, "Well, yeah, yeah, I've never done this before." And I
Yeah.
remember giving up so early on because there there was no place on that team, and it wasn't anybody's fault. There was no place on that team for the coach to be able to coach me to get faster.
Hmm.
They were concentrating on the people that they knew they were going to be sending off to high school on these track teams.
Yeah.
And it was just, it still beats me up because I feel like that was about the time that I started struggling with food because I'm like,
Hmm.
well, I'm slow because I'm fat. And now in hindsight, I'm like, I wish I was fat like that, right?
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
um, but it totally kicked my butt. And then, like I said, this journey has been new, and it's new too. Like my brother has his own very separate story, but the two of us were never runners. Like it was never something we thought we would do, and it blows my mind because like talking to other runners in the community now, they're like, "Oh, your brother is like he's the fastest guy we know." And I'm like, "Yep." I said, "But
Yeah.
I'm here so that he has somebody slow so he can place high."
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I just wondered, and dynamics going back to childhood and everything. My brother, he's younger, but he's always been like into working out, kind of big muscles. He just did a tough man competition last year,
Hmm.
pull trucks and deadlifts and all that stuff. So, yeah, but
Yeah.
he's really getting into running and stuff too. So,
Well, that's
definitely,
the
I've
thing too.
never done running. I know a lot of people, like you said, start out not at all and like, oh, maybe it's something I should look into someday because a lot of people will start with, I think I could never do it, and then you love it. So,
Yeah, that was the thing too, is like when the running started, like I never worried about like placing. Like I was just there because I'm like, I just want the pretty medal, which I've got a bunch now.
yeah.
But I remember the first time I placed and I was like, what? And then they were like, yeah, you won third in your division. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I wasn't even I don't want to make it sound like I wasn't even trying, but like I wasn't trying
Right.
to place. Like I was just out
Yeah.
there to finish. My big thing,
Mhm.
my trainer is very big on. We're here to complete, not compete. And so the first time I placed, I was like, What is going on?" And it started blossoming into other things that we've started doing, and it's been a fantastic journey with this little core group of people that even my trainer is like, "I'm never running a marathon with you." And I'm like, "That's cool." But it's been great that we've gone and gotten to do all these other cool things together.
That's awesome, and it's important to have your little team like that and, encourage each other and do it together. It does help a lot, so. Well, that was all of my main questions for you. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about or anything specific from the book that you would like to bring up?
Um, there's so many things, but there's not, right? So I think the biggest thing that I'm really trying to push with this book is like it's okay to stumble and fall, and it's okay for it to not work out, and it's okay for it to not go. I was like every other American, right? Going back and forth with that yo-yo. I'd lose
Mhm.
weight and I'd gain, and I'd lose and I'd gain, and then I'd try this fad diet and I do this. Like the only diet advice I ever give anybody, and it's not even advice. It's kind of like, hey, I found all this scientific evidence. Protein is good for you.
Mhm.
And I encourage eating a lot of protein if you can, because it helps with that muscle growth. And I've
Mhm.
noticed it helps with how I feel. Like, and I'm not even necessarily like, oh, you have to have a carnivore diet. No, no. Like
Yeah.
any kind of protein is good for you. Um, because it's healing the body, and it's so crucial to like what we need. And so
Mhm.
love it or hate it with the whole thing, like when they started changing the food pyramid and they're like, you need all this protein. And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, thank you for putting out accurate information for once. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, but and then just like not depriving yourself though of the things that you need. And then it's okay, so it's so bad. I am also a mental health first aid instructor. I
Mm.
teach all over, the Piedmont here. And so I'm always preaching, don't pour from an empty cup, and like self-care, and like I'm the worst one for that. But self-care is crucial. And so I always tell people, I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're crocheting or coloring, whatever you need to do the thing that makes you happy, even if you just do it for 30 minutes a day. And I know
Mhm.
sometimes it's hard when you've got kids and a husband and you're trying to make dinner and this, but that self-care is like, it's crucial. And that's my gym time. Even if it's just to walk on
Mhm.
the treadmill and watch an episode of something, like do
Yeah.
that thing, because it's important for your journey. Um, the only other thing is that like I said, I'm working on collaborating with my daughter on this cookbook. And one of the things that we face, now that so she's 16, so like this night is this class and this night is fencing and this, and so her and I have really, I don't want to say perfected, but we've come pretty darn close to perfecting the meal prep life. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to get this cookbook out there with her, because first of all, she'll be a 16-year-old published author. And
That's awesome.
and second of all, like the cookbook is things that we've learned, like what works for us, what doesn't. But if I can get my teenager to eat them, anybody can get their kids to eat this food. She was like a great eater when she was a kid, and then I don't know, like 14 happened, and she's like, "No, I don't want to eat this
Oh,
stuff."
yeah.
Um, but meal prepping has become a very big part of our lives, because I'm like, well, this is something we kind of do together. And then during the week, like I said, dinner is ready and we don't have to worry.
Yeah.
But then we have those 2 hours on Sunday that we're like, we're doing this thing as a family, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so important, and like I said, I definitely enjoy meal prepping, and I'm definitely looking forward to your cookbook. I definitely check that out. Um, I think as we get older, even if you're not in your health journey, me personally, I can't say for everybody, but I think your body starts to crave more of the protein and
Oh yeah.
like you said, like I never was a steak person when I was a kid. Nope, don't give it to me. As I get older, I love it, and yeah, everything protein. I try to, I like the little protein balls. You don't have to do, like you said, just do meat. There's so many different ways you can use protein. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. I make protein ice cream now. Like people
nice.
are like, they're like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah. I use my protein milkshakes as my base and I make ice cream. Like,
Oh
oh yeah.
yeah,
Those recipes will
that's
only be in the book.
nice. I'll definitely be getting that. Yeah, I definitely that's one of my weaknesses is I'm an ice cream lover, so that would be a good one for me.
Oh yeah. So it's funny because my grandpa used to joke. He said that because he's of German and Native American descent, two cultures that are not into sweets.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm changing this for the family. We're all ice cream lovers now, and we are.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, my grandparents were from Jersey, and every night we would go there in the summers and stay with them and stuff, and everyone had ice cream at the end of the night, even the cats and the dogs.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the
Yeah.
thing too. Is where we were from in New Jersey was near the Jersey Freeze.
Okay. Yeah.
So like ice cream was way too close. And
Oh
I just
yeah.
remember going every Saturday night and they would have a cruise in and we would get
Oh
chicken
yeah.
fingers and ice cream. And
Yep.
that was my diet as a child.
Yeah. That's a staple out there. That's just part of growing up. So, well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me. We'll end with some rapid fire questions just for the fun of it. Coffee or tea?
Hot tea.
Hot tea. Do you
I'm
have
a
a
Yankee.
specific
Hot
type?
tea. No, I guess it's just like the black tea.
Okay.
Like in New Jersey, we don't drink cold tea. We drink hot tea.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're in the South, they like their cold tea.
Oh yeah, with a lot of sugar. Mm.
Oh, yeah. Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Yeah, I'm sure, especially now that you're doing the gym and everything,
Oh
so
yeah, 4:30 every day.
yeah, that's how I am. I'd rather go earlier in the day and work out, and it just gets you motivated for the day, so.
Oh yeah.
Favorite healthy meal that you actually love? Kinda goes hand in hand with your cookbook.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Um, so my top two would probably be our taco soup recipe.
Mm.
So good. And the other one would probably be my sweet turkey chili. Um, so when I made the recipe, my mom doesn't eat tomatoes, which you need to use for chili. So I
Yeah.
subbed in tomatoes for peppers and
Oh,
oh my
nice,
God,
yeah.
so good.
Yummy, that sounds delicious. We're a big chili family, and I love peppers, so I would love all of that, so. You did say you watch shows, but do you ever listen to music or podcasts when you exercise?
So usually I listen to music. So I tried so hard to listen to podcasts. But sometimes I'm like, I just need to not think.
I understand, yeah.
So typically my podcast time is like my ride back and forth to work, but
Mhm.
I love listening to especially like 80s rock. Like
Nice.
being from New Jersey, like
Oh, yeah.
Bon Jovi is life. Um,
Yes.
and so usually music is my way to go, but listening to more and more podcasts on the ride back and forth to work for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a time and place for both. I work from home. I'll put my podcast on in the background and then listen to my podcast. But I love music. Me and my husband are big music fanatics. We go to concerts. I listen to every genre of music there is. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
absolutely. What would be one word to describe this season of your life?
Balanced. I
Nice.
finally feel like I'm getting that balance. Like it's been hard. Sometimes that work life balance is it's extremely difficult because I take what I do very personally.
Mhm.
But I feel like overall, like I'm finally getting into this, which is crazy because I'm in perimenopause too. So my hormones are so unbalanced. But I feel
Yes.
like I'm finally starting to smooth over things and figure out life.
Yeah, that's a really good word, and that'd be a great spot to be at. Feeling balanced, that's probably one that people don't think about often, but that's great. I love that. Well, Rita, thank you so much for sharing your story so openly and honestly. Your journey is such a powerful reminder that taking back your health isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself even on the hard days. For anyone listening, if this episode resonated with you, be sure to check out Fat to Fit My Health Journey and connect with Rita to follow along with her continued work and inspiration. As always, thank you for spending your time with me here on Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and keep showing up.
All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's episode of Auntie Mel Mel Life Unfiltered. Thank you for spending this time with me and stepping into the real, the raw, the messy, and the magical, because we don't do surface level here. If this episode hit home, made you laugh, or helped you feel a little less alone, go ahead and follow the podcast and share it with someone who might need it too. And remember, you are never too much, never too little, and never alone on this wild ride. I'll meet you back here next time for more truth, more feels, and more unfiltered goodness. This is Auntie Mel Mel signing off. Stay real, stay kind, and stay unfiltered. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is Auntie Mel Mel. If this episode made you laugh, think, or feel a little less alone, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Sharing it really helps this community grow. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and right here on YouTube. I'll see you in the next episode of Life Unfiltered.